organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on tonight's Daily Iowan TV.
The heat is on. Find out what candidates came to campus before the big November election.
And NFL players have been making headlines with domestic abuse. You've heard the experts' opinions, but how are fans reacting to their favorite players' violence?
And in sports,
we wrap up Iowa Men's Basketball Media Day. You'll hear from head coach Fran McCaffrey and squad later.
All this and more on tonight's episode of Daily Iowan TV.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Anna Theodosis.
And I'm Nick Fisher.
With the month of October underway, political campaigns are in full swing. Despite being excluded from debates across the state, many third-party and independent candidates are working to get their viewpoints out in the open. Daily Iowa TV's Megan Sanchez shows us a closer look at their views.
Young Americans for Liberty.
People that are already aware of liberty and freedom are always the most fun people to talk to because they get it. You don't have to explain that they're not free.
It's a student org on campus at the University of Iowa that is focused on freedom. The organization hosted a group of third-party and independent candidates last night for a forum.
And I feel like these beliefs are pretty important just because most of America feels the same way as these candidates do, and I feel like the fact that they're not being represented is kind of, I don't know, unfair.
And because of this exclusion from debates in the state, the candidates took full advantage of their time to state their beliefs.
So if you think that you're wasting your vote by voting for our campaign, the truth is that you are probably wasting your vote if you vote for one of the other candidates.
According to Gallup Politics, in 2013, 25% of Americans identified as Republican, 31% identified as Democrat, and 42% identified as independents. That number is part of the reason independent governor candidate Dr. Lee Heeb wants to see the party included in debates.
People say this should be about issues. Well, if it's about issues, then you should let people debate of all different ideas. You shouldn't just have the big two parties who have become synonymous, debate each other. Really, if you want some different ideas, you have to look outside.
Reporting from Schaefer Hall at the University of Iowa, this is Megan Sanchez, Daily Iowan TV.
Latest news on the Ebola outbreak. Liberia plans to prosecute the airline passenger who brought Ebola into the United States. Thomas Eric Duncan allegedly lied on an airport questionnaire about having contact with the disease. Neighbors in the Liberian capital believe Duncan became infected when he helped bundle a sick pregnant neighbor into a taxi a few weeks ago. In Texas, health officials have reached out to about 80 people who may have been direct in contact with Duncan. The first symptoms usually occur a week after exposure. They include fever and muscle pain. Within 12 days, patients can experience massive internal bleeding, brain damage, bleeding from the nose and mouth. Duncan has been kept in isolation at the Texas hospital since Sunday. He was listed today in serious but stable condition. According to the World Health Organization, Ebola is believed to have sickened more than 7,000 people in East Africa and killed more than 3,000.
Iowa State University will hold a memorial for Tong Xiao on Friday night. Xiao was found dead in the trunk of a car in Iowa City last week. She was a chemical engineering student from China. Jingzhong Li has been listed as a person of interest. Authorities suspect he has been back in China since September 10th, 2 days after Xiao was last heard from. According to ISU's website, counseling services will be available to students at the memorial.
But first, I was glued underneath my umbrella all day today with this weather.
At least you had an umbrella. I didn't grab one when I was going outside and got absolutely soaked. And I was sitting in the newsroom for 3 hours waiting for my sweater to dry. Not fun.
Why don't we toss it over to Kelly O'Lean, who's standing by in the weather studio with everything you need to know.
Sorry to hear about your sweater, Anna. You're probably going to want to throw that in the dryer, though, because you may need it to stay warm, seeing as the only thing that'll be heating up this weekend is your morning coffee. Starting tomorrow, we will see highs in the low 50s with a high of 49 in the morning. It'll stay cloudy throughout the day with a high of 51 degrees in the afternoon, dropping down to a brisk 46 in the evening. Be careful to those going home this weekend to Chicago. It may get a little nasty. There has been hail reported in Kansas City, and as that cold front moves in from the south, so will the rain, making roads very slick. But luckily, it's UI's bye weekend because this is not the ideal weather for tailgating. Saturday will be cloudy with a high of 51 degrees, and temperatures will begin to heat up again on Sunday with a high of 60, and will stay that way throughout Monday. Skies will clear up on Tuesday with a high of 63, and you can put that sweater away, Anna, because Wednesday will have a high of 69 degrees. That's all I have for you today. Back at the desk.
Iowa City Police responded to Tate High School Thursday afternoon because of a fight. Police say it started outside, then moved into the school. One adult female was arrested. Police say they don't know if the woman was a student or related to the school in any way. Additional charges are pending.
It took the release of one video to turn the NFL's attention to domestic violence. And if it hasn't been an eye-opener for the NFL, it certainly has been for the fans. We do warn that the following footage has graphic images that may offend some viewers. Daily Iowan TV's Tanner Sigworth finds out how football fans are reacting to the scandal.
From the moment the world saw this video of NFL player Ray Rice punching his then fiancée, domestic violence has been the prominent issue facing the NFL. And it isn't new. Out of the 713 arrests of NFL players since 2000, 85 cases have involved domestic violence. A recent case involves Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson, who faces charges of child abuse after disciplining his 4-year-old son by beating him with a tree branch. News that for some fans was hard to swallow.
You know, if it had just been the story behind it, I don't know if it would have been so bad, but the pictures, I think, really kind of struck home with a lot of people. And that, I mean, you know, I was kind of in denial about it too in the beginning. You know, there's no way AP could have done something like that, just because it's a guy, you know, you've been admiring for a long time, I guess. You know.
Others saw the reaction from Commissioner Roger Goodell as a typical response from the NFL involving situations with its players.
The NFL's going to do what protects the NFL. I mean, look at concussions. They didn't care about them until people started making a fuss about it. And I think that's the exact same thing that's going on now. The only reason that the NFL is going to react is because people cared enough to bring it to light.
These are just some of the players facing accusations of domestic violence. This is Tanner Sigworth reporting for Daily Iowan TV.
And it was announced today that Dallas Cowboys safety C.J. Spillman is now under investigation for a sexual assault that occurred last month. Spillman has yet to be charged by police. This comes not long after the NFL announced changes to its personal conduct policy.
The Iowa men's basketball team talked to the media today for their annual media day.
Jalen Socek and Chelsea Brown are standing by in the sports studio to fill us in on what the team had to say.
Thanks, guys. A lot of questions earlier today for head coach Fran McCaffrey and squad before they kick off their 2014-15 season.
That's right, Chelsea. And one of the hot topics being what happened to last season's squad as they started off so well before becoming unraveled by the end of the season. And also, who's going to replace star forward Devin Marble?
But first, here's what some of the squad had to say about their expectations for the season.
I'm really excited. I mean, summer workouts are great and all, but it comes a time where you want to start practicing, and then when practice starts getting going, you want to start playing games. So I'm just looking forward to it all. I wasn't as aggressive as I should have been last year, and partly was we had such a deep team. It was hard for me coming in and out. I'm going to be more aggressive this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Talk about winning. I mean, that's the only thing that really matters. We never say a number of wins or anything like that. Just continue to work hard and win each and every night out.
I feel like we're a great team this year. We got a lot of great players. As long as we move the ball, and I think play as a team, we'll be good.
This season, the squad will be without star player Devin Marble. Marble, who signed with the Orlando Magic back in July, averaged 17 points a game in the 2013-14 season. McCaffrey said the team is now led by senior Aaron White.
I think there's always one player that, sort of becomes the identity of the team. For me, and you've heard me say this a lot, Rob, It was Jared Cole's team, it was Matt Gaines' team, it was Marble's team, now it's Aaron White's team.
Last year's squad went 20-13 overall, but they dropped 7 of those 13 losses in their final month in action. The downhill spiral had some Hawkeye fans scratching their heads as to why the team fell apart. Coach McCaffrey said it came down to one thing: defense.
But the reality is we didn't defend the way we need to defend to consistently win. That's why we were 9-9 and not better than that. And I think that's got to be the challenge for this team.
And wrapping up our Media Day coverage, I caught up with senior Gabe Olashaney one-on-one on his thoughts for the upcoming season. All right, Gabe, so last season everything started off so well. Things kind of came unhinged down the stretch. What does the team really take away and learn from that?
I think the thing we took away is that you can't overemphasize certain things. Teams go through highs and lows during the season. Unfortunately, ours came at the end, but we definitely understand now that you can't take things for granted. We have to get off to a great start this year and hopefully continue it down into the NCAA tournament.
This season, obviously, the team's without Devin Marble, who really leaned down in times and crucial moments. Who has to take that responsibility and step up and fill that void that he leaves?
I think it's a collective thing. No one's going to come in here and average 15 more points than they did last year. Obviously, if they do, that's great for us, but I think it's going to be a collective thing. A lot of the times last year we could rely on Dev to go get a shot at the end of the shot clock, but I think this year we have to turn good shots into great shots. I think that starts defensively, so if we pick things up defensively, our scoring will definitely, hopefully, go up or contribute the same as what Dev did.
All right, in the backcourt for Iowa, one of the strongest in the Big Ten. Adam Woodbury obviously being a starter, but you two splitting the minutes. You actually averaging more rebounds and points. How does your role differ at post?
I think it'll be similar to last year in terms of splitting time with Woody, but hopefully I play more minutes. Hopefully I'm trying to play at the 4 position as well. Whether coach wants to do that is up to him. So hopefully we just both have productive years again.
Okay, and we got 4 new faces on the team. How have they done so far?
Dom's been great, very athletic, he's going to help us straight away. Trey's a great distributor of the ball. Nick, he's just a hustle energy guy, and Brady's a great shooter, so they're all contributing in their own ways, and I'm looking forward to playing with them.
All right, thanks, Gabe, and good luck this season.
Thanks.
Olashaney was actually only one of 4 players in the country last season to grab more offensive rebounds than defensive.
Hawkeye sports are all over the country this weekend, but we focus on some teams staying right here in Iowa City. The Iowa volleyball team is hosting fellow Big Ten team Ohio State on Friday. Coach Szymanski talked about how big of a win this could be for the Hawkeye program. Then on Saturday, Penn State heads on over to Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Nittany Lions are the reigning NCAA national champs. That match is set to start at 7 p.m.
13 teams will be converging on Finkbein Golf Course for the Diane Thomason tournament. Thomason was a longtime coach of the Hawkeyes and coached 7 All-Big Ten selections. Last year, Iowa finished up 6th out of a 12-team field.
Northwestern is also coming to Iowa City for field hockey. The Wildcats currently sitting at the top of the conference, while the Hawks are holding at the number 2 spot. Iowa also ranks 7th in the country.
Unfortunately, that'll do it for us here in the sports studio tonight. For even more on Iowa Basketball Media Day, head on over to our blog at dailyiowans.sports.com.
Nick, Anna, back to you guys at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan. Find out why students are planning to protest student debt later this month.
And read about farmers' split opinions on corn and soybean prices. But before we go, a special type of M&M is being resurrected. Crispy M&Ms are coming back in January. In case you don't remember what they are regular M&Ms with an airy, crispy-filled center.
I must say I am very, very excited about this. They were removed from shelves in the United States back in 2005, but M&M officials say the online petitions are the reason why they came back.
Thank you for watching tonight's Daily Iowan TV.
Check us out again on Sunday at the same time and anytime online at dailyiowantv.com.
I'm Anna Theodosis.
And I'm Nick Fisher. Have a great night.
Want a major that'll take you somewhere? I joined and now I'm in Los Angeles, California, interning for Conan O'Brien at Warner Brothers Studios.
You can download the Daily Iowan mobile app on your iPhone for the area's best news coverage. You can always find current and past Daily Iowan stories at dailyiowans.com. The Daily Iowan is now on TV, online, and in your pocket. If it happens, it's news to us.